Hi everybody, I'm here to report on last night's 1-0 defeat to Genk in the Europa League at Ibrox. Usually when a Rangers team loses its opening game, especially at home, we're distraught, but we think we can come back from this, especially when it's an 8 game run you've got to go through. That's with past teams, even under Clement, Beale, etc. Not under this dud of a manager. There's no way we are coming back from an opening game defeat to qualify out of this group. We've got a charlatan of a manager. The fans hate him. He had one decent performance in the league so far, or not even in the league, domestically, and nobody would be putting money on us beating Livingston away on Sunday. It's just so bad. People are giving up. 10,000 odd seats empty last night, and no wonder. The 4-match package hasn't sold out either, and who knows what hospitality might be like. But anyhow, everybody's had enough of this guy, except, the board. Well, thankfully, Andrew Kavanagh, the majority stakeholder in the 49ers, at least he was there to witness this shambles of a team and to see what the fans thought of it. So if he doesn't take action after this, well, we're stuck with this manager until the end of the season at least, and things can only get worse because nothing is getting better. Genk weren't even one of the better teams we've faced over the last 3-4 years, and yet they were miles better than us. They were bigger, stronger, faster, more skillful, better organised, more determined, better at the dark arts, rolling about in agony when they were hardly touched in a tackle, all of that. They knew what they were doing, they knew how to play us. It should have been more. We were lucky it wasn't 4 or 5. Their striker, their number 9, was the South Korean, and he missed 2 sitters, then he missed a penalty before he actually scored the winning goal, as it turned out. So he'll think he had a great night, but in fact scoring the goal was the only thing he did correct. But he still looked far better than any of our strikers, so it just shows you a guy that was a Celtic reject looks much better than anything we've got up front, despite missing sitters. So anyhow, he did his bit eventually. None of our guys did our bit. It was just a shambles. The manager couldn't even pick the right team. He's still persevering with Mikey Moore on the right wing. As I said before, a winger who doesn't wing, he doesn't take on people, doesn't even try to take on people. He just moves inside and passes it to Tavernier or back to Suter. He's inside in the first place. He's not even on the touchline. So what's the point of playing a guy like that when you've got at the club we've got another 3 wingers apart from Gassama. So Ant-Man, who came on at half time, that was how the game should have started. At least he ran at them, tried to take people on. But Mikey Moore, I'd send him back to Spurs at Christmas. He's not going to do anything for us. And of course the other big shock was Chermiti up front instead of Miovski, a guy who's done nothing so far apart from, I think it was against Hibs. He had 1 run, the length of the Hibs half, and a team shot that hit off the goalie's legs. So he's shown nothing so far, but he throws him in to start this game. And I've learned today, since I was amazed at that inclusion of him from the start, apparently he won't be playing at Livingston on Sunday because his medical condition means he can't play on plastic pitches. Plastic pitches, that's a quarter of our away games he won't be able to play in. No big deal anyhow, he's not looked up to much, so it just shows you 8 million quid for a guy that can't play on any surface. Now whether that's a long-term injury that he's having to nurse or a niggle that he can't risk on a plastic pitch, who knows? We get told nothing. All we know is we've paid 8 million quid for a guy that doesn't look much better, if any better, than the likes of Danilo or Drossers or even Lammers. So that's on farewell unless our esteemed manager, head coach, actually urged the director of football and the recruitment guy to buy this player from Everton. So what can I say? Jack Butland, easily the best player, saved the penalty, made a couple of other good saves, didn't do anything wrong, so well done, Jack, you did your bit. I thought Suter was the best of the rest, some good tackles, blocks. At least he tried to go forward with the ball. not many targets to hit with a pass. Maybe Gassama, he did a few decent things, and that was it, full stop. The rest of them, substandard, anonymous, use any adjective you like, just a shambles. Genk, faster, bigger, stronger, fitter looking, more energy, more heart, got stuck in, good at the dark arts. You know, they were rolling about in agony when they'd hardly been touched. So they were miles better than us, and yet they're not a great European team. So that shows how far off the pace this Rangers team is. What about refereeing decisions? The referee, by the way, was terrible. He was actually rubbish, but he didn't cause our downfall, obviously. But we should have had a penalty. It went to VAR. He comes back on, says it's no penalty, and he motions as if Tavernier shoved the guy who was going up with him for the cross. And when I've seen it back now on TV, you can't see Tavernier shoving him. I don't know if the VAR people just showed him a still photo, and Tavernier's hands were brushing the back of his shirt, because he certainly didn't push him, because the guy went back the way as he was jumping up, not forwards as he would have if he'd been pushed in the back. So there was no push there. The referee just looked for a way, to me, of not awarding the penalty, which was a clear penalty. Why did the VAR team tell him to go and look at the screen if it was a shove? Could they not have seen the shove and just tell him on his earpiece it was a shove, no penalty? No, they made him go and look, and he came up with this ridiculous idea that the defender was shoved. So that was a big blunder. Cost us. I mean, okay, we might have gone 1-0 up, but in the end we would have lost anyhow. They were a much better team than us. Can't complain about the red card. I mean, silly tackle, but that's what Diomande does. He just can't tackle. He shouldn't be playing that role. The penalty, Tavernier, ball inside him. The guy runs onto it, so Tavernier, as usual, caught napping. So he's now running behind the guy, and he gets his legs tangled up, and down the guy goes. Suter was coming to tackle him anyhow. He did clatter into him, but the penalty's given for the Tav contact, so he causes the penalty, and Jack Butland saved his skin by saving the ball, and then the ball was cleared. So we thought we'd been reprieved there, but we all knew it was only a matter of time. You're down to 10 men. You're playing a better team. It can only get worse. And eventually O took his chance. Diagonal pass through the middle between Cornelius and Suter. O runs onto it and slots it away. Keeper no chance. Where the right back was, who knows? Well, I do know, I was going to say who knows. I saw it on TV. He was trundling back from just inside our half. The nearest guy on the right-hand side was Asgard, and he was 10-15 yards behind O. So nobody in that right-hand side whatsoever, because our wonderful captain was still in the halfway line when the pass was made. That sums up Tavernier, but it sums up our system as well, that there's no cover. One pass through the middle or over the top and we're done for, and that happens against the Motherwells, the Hibs, the Hearts of the world, never mind the team that was second in the Belgian league last season. So terrible goal to lose. Could have been another couple after that. Butland saved, or they missed, so we got away with one actually at 1-0, but it doesn't matter. It's the points that matter in these games. It doesn't matter if you win 1-0 or 5-0, as long as you get 3 points, and Genk went away with them. 2 games coming up next. Sturm Graz away, Brann away. I'd have thought we could beat Brann until a month ago. So obviously these are defeats coming up, and if we don't win against Levy, will Andrew Kavanagh pull the trigger and realise they've made a mistake and it can only get worse, and the fans will only get more annoyed, and his investment will go down the drain very quickly? Let's hope so. Let's hope he realises this and just ditches this manager, because we are actually nothing like a Rangers team. Even the Rangers teams of the early 80s, which were the worst that I've ever seen, are better, or were better than this mob. At least they got stuck in, they showed energy, they showed heart. The guys were playing for the jersey. This mob, with this manager, it's not going to change, let's face it. So just get rid of him, and let's start with a manager who can make the best of the good players that we do have, because we do have enough good players if we only had a manager with a system and a coaching ability to get the best out of them. But as it is, it's all downhill from here, starting somewhere in the mountains of Austria in the next round of the Europa, if not the plastic pitch of Livy on Sunday.